Hey everybody, welcome to the SIG. We are here in the clubhouse and you can see we're having some technical issues. You're looking at my big mug. We'd rather look at everybody in the club there, not me. Anyway, it is the 13th of June. We're rocking and rolling. We're ready to get this party started. I know Grace has a video to share with us. So Grace, why don't you tell us about it and then I will play it for you.
Okay, well, so the backstory on my video is that while we travel, I frequently collect souvenir T-shirts, and that's the souvenir I come home with. When the stack got really, really large and I wasn't wearing them, and we had to move and reduce closet space, I decided, okay, I will just take pictures of the emblems on the T-shirts and then give them away. So that's the backstory of some of these. I wrote down what they were. These are just one part of them, and it fills the length of the one music clip I got, and it's 2 minutes.
Okay, all right, let's see what we've got here.
Traveling through the South Pacific, South and Central America, acquiring souvenir T-shirts presents a problem eventually. What do you do when the stack gets too large and you have to clean out your closet? Why, you just photograph them and give them away. Then you can look at them anytime with fond memories.
Nice. Now, how did you edit that, Grace?
Well, not as successfully as I would have liked. So I was using my new computer, iMovie. I have no idea why it doesn't fill the screen and why they're all verticals. And the pictures I took with my phone, obviously, weren't, but many of them came in and I had to rotate them in iMovie because they came in vertical. And I don't know why the map is vertical because I put it in and it's horizontal until I don't know. So there are major bugs or situations I have to figure out. But anyway, and the audio wasn't good, but I just put it in anyway. It was from the microphone on the laptop.
Well, your audio sounded fine in terms of your narration. That level was good. I think the only thing that I noticed was when the music came up after you were done with your narration, then really the music was really loud.
Okay,
So,
and I had turned it down. I had pulled it down, but I obviously not enough.
okay.
Yeah. And so the one thing I did was I had the sound turned all the way up on my laptop when I exported the video. Um, because some of you sometimes have said it's too quiet and I try to turn it up and I can't get it any higher. So I thought, well, I'll try this. But obviously the music need to be down a lot.
What was your dB level?
How do I know? I don't. I'd have to go back to the project and I'm not even sure it tells me.
iMovie doesn't have the capability to show a sound meter, so probably she would have to run it through Audacity to see where that sound level was at. Now, does anybody else have any thoughts on Grace's video?
I just love that whole T-shirt idea and doing the little slideshow or video of the T-shirts is really fun. And I would love to get to see that better. Because it was just so fun and creative. And I just.
So you want to see the rest of them?
And I loved when you did like if you went to each place on the map, and showing, I don't know. Anyway, I just love the idea that you're creating there. It's so much fun.
Well,
It was
they're
fun.
they're gone, but I can still look at them. So anyway, that was my thought as I was packing up cleaning out my closet, getting ready to move. Yeah.
Rod's got a goodie for us. Why don't you tell us, Rod, what you got? Or Ron, I'm sorry. Why don't you tell us what you've done?
Okay, this is a whopping 16 seconds.
Oh,
It consists of 2 graphics, and I created them using the Fusion page in DaVinci Resolve.
huh?
Fusion is used to animate. That's its sole purpose. But beyond that, it is one hell of a frustrating page to use.
All right, well, let's check it out. Let's see what you got.
That was really cool.
Yeah, I
Wow.
know. The level of frustration was just out of control.
How long did it take you to do that?
Several hours.
Wow.
Now that you've done it one time, do you think next time you try something like that, it won't take nearly as long because you're a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah,
Or
may not. I was so frustrated. I just haven't gone back in Fusion yet.
okay,
I think I will return to it, but
well, it was well done.
And,
Absolutely
you know,
well done.
yeah.
Great.
And
The way-
the telling thing about it is that most of the DaVinci tutorials, by far the lion's share is on Fusion.
What did you say, Brian? I had you turned down.
The thing about these little exercises like he just did, in my mind, is not that you produce this killer, little piece of film. It's that you're pushing around in the software and you're going to learn stuff that's going to stick with you regardless of what you came up with on this. It's a good exercise. Susan and I do it to stuff all the time. You just never see it.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not bad at all.
Well, and I think, like you said, like anything else, you just get into that mode of trying something. And if you do it a few times, you get more comfortable and you're able to then, the next time you do it, it doesn't take nearly as long, so it's not so bad.
Now it's well worthwhile.
Nice job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now we've got Sherry Lee's got a couple of goodies to share with us. Why don't you tell us, which one do you want to show first?
Let's do the Amazon first, just because that's the order I.
Okay.
And so we did, before I left to do a kid trip, I did a little preview of the Amazon, what I was working on. And so now I finished that portion of our Galapagos trip. And then we went, and then the Quito one, we went back and forth, like we flew into Quito, then we went to the Amazon, then we came back to Quito for a couple days, then we went to the Galapagos, then we came back to Quito. So the little Quito video is just a compilation of the time in Quito. And then right now I'm working on the land portion of the Galapagos, and I hope to have that done before we head to Turkey in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Okay, well, let's check that out.
It was April 2022. I can't believe that it was only 3 days in the Amazon jungle. We started out flying from Quito to Coca, where we got to enjoy the local market with our wonderful group from Overseas Adventure Travel.
This is the preparation. It's a chopped up bark, tree bark, from a tree that's called chuchuhuaso. Chuchuhuaso.
From there, we boarded a motorized canoe and traversed a small portion of the Napo River, one of the main feeders of the Amazon River. Next, we took a small tributary to our home in the jungle, the Arena Lodge. And here's our fun little cabana. We enjoyed many creatures, including watching the delightful squirrel monkeys. It was amazing in the Amazon jungle to experience the bats, the night music by canoe, seeing the red eyes of a couple caiman, and the wide variety of insects during a night walk. My personal favorite was the pink-toed tarantula. Then there was the daytime jungle walk. What has one of our guides found for us to see? How did he find this minuscule rain frog, then get it onto the end of this stick? Then there's the leafcutter ants. Watch out where you step. Now what are we looking at? check out this chain of caterpillars. I also enjoyed finding fascinating fungi. Our destination, the local temple.
Fear. Respect and fear. The thing about those books, they better don't spend the night.
We got to try our hand at fishing for piranha.
Ay, 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 ay.
And the daytime canoe. So many amazing things to see, including the most prehistoric bird in existence, referred to as the stinky turkey. Many beautiful birds. A three-toed sloth, giant river otter, and how about the boa on a tree limb above our heads? One of my favorite aspects of traveling with OAT is a day in the life of. Meet Christina of the indigenous Quechua village. She shared her daily life with us in a walk through her farm in the jungle, including cutting down a palm to retrieve its heart for our upcoming culinary enjoyment. Along with harvesting numerous items for our meal, which she put into her huge basket. Along the way, we even enjoyed some face painting. It is a must to keep the blade sharp. Now it's time for us to join in the meal preparation.
This is Roberto, Jose.
Oh my goodness. We ate white cacao seeds, yucca, plantain, and fresh heart of palm, catfish wrapped in a roomy panga leaf, and jungle bacon. We were invited to bring gifts. The women were touched to receive jewelry I had made for them. Christina's mother-in-law is a local healer, and she graced each of us with a very special blessing. Thank you for joining me on this very special adventure.
Oh my golly, what a trip.
That was fun.
But my brain was absolutely in the way.
It was just like chicken, right?
No, it was not at all.
That's right.
I thought you did a really nice job. The one area that, now that you've seen this and heard this on the big screen, what am I gonna say?
About the sound levels.
Yes.
And I read my notes from you, and I worked with Audacity, and I worked with comparing the levels and the software and stuff. I tried so hard, but anyway.
Well, you know, the one thing I was gonna tell you is that with your last piece where you're making the food, the music was a little softer in terms of the tempo, and it was not as dramatic.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't fight as much with your audio. the first couple of songs, they're very dramatic and there's drums pounding and there's stuff going on. And so besides the level being off, you almost have to take it down even a skosh more just to get it to not fight so much with the audio. But that's just, I mean, again, you're nailing it. These things are just little small technical things.
They are, boy, yes, and I guess I'm learning every time, but I also, I shut my eyes and listen to the whole thing, afterwards, but I didn't make it as loud as this, so.
Well, I think that it's not so much that it's that the overall level is so high. I think it's just it fights with your narration. Your narration is so good and you do such a good job with it that it conflicts with it just a little bit. But I mean, again, it's just that little technical thing that I think would take that over the top. So what do you think, Phil?
Audio is the biggest problem. And your narration is so fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just have so much enthusiasm and you're just so into this that really works, but your mix is just horrible.
Well, the one place I noticed was right early on when the lady was holding up a bottle of something and introducing whatever it was, her level was way up and if above the rest of your narration stuff, and you could just bring her part level down too.
What are you listening on?
My computer.
See, that's your problem.
What's she using?
Well, she's using Audacity for her sound, and she's got computer speakers. I just think it's
computer speakers.
I have a speaker.
yeah, she's got a sound. I've helped her with it.
Yeah.
I think it's in the ear. It's listening, and you just got to be a little bit more critical when you're listening, and almost even close your eyes.
How about if you use earphones?
No, we've talked about that. That's not the issue. It's just more of
Unless you're going to play it back in your.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
my learning. It's a huge learning curve on how I hear it and being able to.
So you think it's you?
I think it's me.
Yeah.
No.
Because
it's not the setup. That was my first thing when I went over to, because I helped her with the undersea one that she did.
Yeah, so then he gave me ranges. So then, because I'm not trusting my hearing, I'm watching the ranges of what's the range of my voice, on the sound.
Well, I think your voice tracks are
versus
great.
the-
Yeah.
Versus the background versus the audio. So I'm trying to watch the levels to have them be in a balanced relationship, but I'm not quite succeeding.
When you say you're watching the levels, you're not watching the separate levels though.
So I'm using Adobe Premiere Elements,
Okay.
and when I click a certain button, it lets me see 3 levels of sound side by side. So I'm listening first, going through with one of them, and I'm just focusing on that to make sure that it's in the range of the notes that I have from Kevin. And then I'm
There's your
listening.
problem.
Are you normalizing your tracks?
It's in the range, and then I do the third one. And then I look at the 3 of them together and see if they look like they're in the right balance. So I'm trying to do it.
I just try using your ears.
Brian asked if you're normalizing the tracks.
Yes, I would do
Wow.
I did the normalize, and then I did loudness reduction. Or the normalize, the background reduction thing, noise reduction. What was there was 2 of them that I was using.
I can't remember.
But yes, I was using that.
And this sounded okay to you when you were listening through your speakers.
Yeah, well, and I even played it on my TV, and
Okay.
it sounded okay to me.
Oh, that-
Interesting.
In fact, the
Yeah.
only thing on my TV that I caught was the thing Grace saw, was her voice went wonky,
Right.
the guy who was talking about the
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
her
she
voice
needed
went
to
wonky.
be equalized. She was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
I don't know, that's
but on my
strange.
TV, I thought it sounded fine, but I wear hearing aids. I don't know. I can't hear.
Oh, you do wear hearing aids.
I do.
Oh, well, that could be
That's-
part of the problem.
That could be part of the issue.
That
You're just-
definitely,
You're just not hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, yeah, go ahead,
I didn't.
go ahead, Grace.
Well, I was just going to say, you had such great shots of a lot of different things. I would have almost liked to have seen another second or so to enjoy what it is you were showing, because you went, pretty fast across a number of things. So that was just, I think I would like to have seen another second or so of them.
The beauty of your stuff is it's very interesting, and it can be longer. We talk about length of videos,
Yeah.
but you do such a good job, and you've got so much information. I would agree with Grace that if it went another minute or two, I wouldn't mind it at all. I mean, just that leave those pictures up a little longer.
You
And
just jam so much into such a short period of time. And I don't know who your audience is. If it's us, then, we want to watch 30 seconds. But if it's, your people who are on the trip, or your friends or whatever,
Yeah.
you might make it longer.
well, and see, I could see that for Travelog or Showtime, and if it was a little longer, I don't think it would be bad at all.
Yeah, not at all. Just such great material, just really, really nice.
Yeah.
Some of the animal shots, but there were, I thought it was very interesting.
Well, I thought you in particular would like the shot where when we came up on the snake and I kept the gal in there.
Yeah.
With her mouth flopping open.
Yes.
Did you catch that?
Yes, I did.
I did that for you.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Well, there you go. Well, good. Does anybody else online have anything to add to that? She's got one more to show us. Okay. Well, what's your second video on?
So it's on keto
Okay.
and it's a little over 4 minutes.
Okay.
So it might be too short for you guys.
We're just so damn picky. It's like, if it's too short, it's not long enough. If it's too long, it's too long. So,
One of the other things about this piece is you might think about not using all those effects that you
But
have
those
that
effects.
capability.
Yes,
Okay, well,
okay,
that's
Not using all the what, Phil?
that stuff sliced and diced and
I
going.
do.
what's that, Brian?
I was asking what he was saying.
Oh, he was just talking about she does her transitions and stuff, and she's got all the little spinny stuff and
Yeah,
the different. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
yeah, all of those different transitions, you already know how I think about those. So that's your thing. I just don't do them. I'm with Phil on that.
Yeah, I would agree. Just a nice dissolve would be plenty good, but all in all, I think that was great. Well, we'll check out the keto one, see what that looks like.
Quito, Ecuador, in the Andes Mountains. Also the home base for our Galapagos and Amazon adventures. The only flight from Houston to Quito had us arriving at 11:45 p.m., then another 45-minute drive to our wonderful hotel. Gratefully, they checked us in quickly. Following a refreshing night of sleep, we spent the next day exploring the neighborhood. There was a fascinating circular mall, a huge variety of eggs in the supermarket, delightful street murals everywhere we turned. Our lunch at a neighboring restaurant was fabulous. Time for the city tour. We visited the old town of Quito, the largest and best preserved in Latin America. We got to see La Basilica Church, Ecuadorian New Gothic with Ecuadorian animals. In a beautiful courtyard, we got to taste caca de perro, along with several other sweet delights. In the center of the plaza, we witnessed a little independent process of Ecuador, seeing people-to-people interaction with the police, and we met Paquito.
Sí. So I am Pepito, your friendly police officer. Welcome my country, okay?
So, prostitution is popular in the old town of Quito. Nellie, a sex worker and a woman leader, shared how she got into the trade and what she is doing to keep the women safe. Lunch followed while the owners shared against the trade. Final stop for that day, a beautiful view and blessings of Virgin Mary. And how about that fabulous market visit? Pigs and crabs, captivating fruit, vegetable, herbs, and even love potions. Back on the bus for more great experiences.
It looks pretty much like any of the towns in Europe. Yeah.
Including a visit to the center of the equator, a must-do. Very special lunch in the Mindele Museum. With a fascinating tour of Ecuadorian history and music. Enjoy our memorable experiences at Casa Agave.
Go, perfect. Now put 2 drops in there. That's 1 and that's 2, perfect. Now we have to aim to the light so we can see the information. There we go. And that's perfect. So now.
Right, 2, very good. Now to the left, very good. Now forward, good, very good. And then we turn around. That's awesome, okay.
Fred and I stayed one extra day. We visited the colorful town of Kumbaya. Until next time.
Your sound mix was a lot better on that one.
Yeah.
It was still, there was still a couple little peaks where it kind of,
It's really generally just too hot, but it was better.
yeah. I think because the music is not as intense, and so it can be, it isn't as critical. I think that's always the thing that I'm thinking of when I'm looking for music. I don't want something that's going to fight with my, you know, if there's narration or like on an interview when I'm doing my Caterpillar stuff. So I think when it is a little bit more dramatic, you just got to drop that down just a little extra. But in that one, the mix was a little better. She did get a little overmodulated on her voice, just a little bit on a couple of those. But
Again, your narration is so
yes,
fun.
yes,
Don't ever change that style.
yeah.
That was really good. And that trip and what you had there, I wanted more on the sex workers.
Sherry, Sherry, what I admire as I watch that, and I've traveled, you know, is your technique for just taking it all in with stills and video, and you must just have a camera going or two all the time because you capture so much, and you know, it's probably difficult to pick what clips to put in, but I just, you know, think that you must be having that camera going all the time.
do, I set a goal for myself of how long it should be. So I want this to be 10 minutes. So that, like this one, I wanted to be 5 minutes. So I got it down to a little over 4.5 minutes.
There's enough interest there for a general audience to watch that in a half-hour form.
Wow.
Don't you think?
Oh,
I don't know if I would go a half hour, but I would definitely say it could have gone 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes, easy. You could have doubled the time.
Yeah.
You could get a half hour with commercials.
With commercials. He said with commercials, a half
Yeah.
hour.
So Sherry, what cameras and stuff are you using to capture all this? Because it's probably more than one.
So mostly I had a Samsung 10 and I just changed it. So now I have a Google Pixel that'll be showing up in future videos. I have my GoPro that was getting introduced on this trip. Mostly with the GoPro, I was using it more in the Galapagos. So the Quito ones was pretty much my S10.
Okay. Well,
I wouldn't have known that. I mean, the quality was pretty good.
Look good.
yeah.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, all in all, I think I mean, we sound like we're glowing about, but you do such a good job with these that it's really a pleasure to watch. And when you bring something in, I'm excited to see what you've done. So I keep doing what you're doing. Short of
So
these
what
little,
I need to do is just send it to you before I'm ready to publish it. so
Yes.
I get
then I can just rip it to pieces. No.
So I can get the book
I got
on it.
Kevin,
No.
when you get a chance, I got a few things.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Okay. Sorry, one of the things that you're doing well, I don't know if anybody's focused on it, is you're picking out little details that make.
Brian,
it
we can just barely.
Hang on.
We can just barely hear you.
Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, what I like is the little details. The high point on that was the gargoyles on the basilica being the local animals. That's priceless stuff. That unless you had taken that picture, who would ever know it? No, it was good. I thought the music was much more appropriate. The pounding drums for a stroll through the jungle didn't work for me, but this I thought was really good. The photo or the video that you took out the window of the bus going down that close to the houses, that's horrible. Because you can't focus on anything. It's just this blur going by. But then contrast that with the picture out the window when you were on the bridge looking down into the valley. Now you can see stuff, and that's the good way to use, panning video like that. That's in effect what you're getting is a pan of the area out the window of the bus. And when your focus point is, looked like about 2 feet from the bus, it's useless to me because I couldn't see a thing.
Well, I actually did that on purpose and kept it short because we were so close. And it was like, oh my God, we are like so close to this building. But anyway, that was the.
Yeah, I do like your mixing in the video clips with sound. I think those work pretty well. You've got a lot of the touristy stuff. Somebody that has never gone there on a tour now knows what they're going to get because it's, oh my God, touristy stuff. And I thought the length was perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, and Sherry, I would piggyback on what Brian's talking about videoing out the window. What Paul has tried to do, and you might want to do this when you head to Turkey, is occasionally try to get in the front seat of the bus. And then you have a broader view of the road that you're going down. And it's not, you'll get a sharper picture.
You might also be able to make an arrangement with the driver to clamp your GoPro up by him going out the front window and just let it run for a while. Who knows what you get, but that way you don't have to actually be up there.
Awesome. Okay.
However, every bus ride in South America, Central America, and Mexico is just like that.
I've been on some Asian buses like that
It
too.
feels like
Oh, yeah.
to almost crash into every power pole and every car on the street, so I liked it.
That's what I had. Thank you. It was delightful.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Do you have any concerns with your trip to Turkey coming up in regard to what's happening with Russia and Ukraine?
Because we are going with Viking, it's a Viking ocean cruise that we're doing that with, I feel perfectly protected.
Yeah, those guys have machine guns.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they were not able to keep us safe, they would not be doing the trip. We originally had, at this time, we were gonna be going to Russia, and of course, that was all canceled, so.
Well, there you go. Well, I can't wait to see what you come up from with that trip. That should be really a good trip. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything for today, since we've had our technical issues and it's been kind of a train wreck, but oh well, these things happen. Well, thank you everybody for coming today, and we appreciate it. We will meet again in a couple of weeks. Hopefully we will have our technical issues resolved and we will go from there. All right. Bye-bye.